Why, hi there, I'm Ron Jeckett, and this is actually the 100th edition of the DoDCast. We will celebrate that milestone tomorrow night during the Cubs game, which will actually be our 102nd, because I have an interview I have to produce for Ricky, which will be the 101st. And so with all that, the Nationals lose today, this 25th day of June, 6-2. Tanner Roark had one bad inning, the first, where everything just kind of fell apart for him. 40 pitches, 5 runs, yada, yada, yada. Based, on the third inning of his last start against Miami, he allowed 11 earned runs over an inning and 2/3, and then he settled down, which is good. There was one home run after that, and then him and the bullpen, which consisted today of Matt Grace, Joe Blanton, and Ali Perez, shut down the Reds the rest of the way. So again today, 3 innings of shutout baseball from the bullpen. Remember, I forgot what it was yesterday. It was Drew's game. And the Friday they had 5. So the bullpen issues maybe starting to settle themselves out. When you have 8 shutout innings from a pen over a weekend, that's a good thing. Let's go to the total, shall we? It was 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Reds. 5 in the first, 1 in the second, and that was it. The Nationals, 2 runs on 8 hits and an error. Scott Feldman, with the win, he goes to 6-5 and pitched well. Tanner Roark goes to 6-5 and probably now has more answers than questions. More questions than answers. See, it helps if you get the cliches right when you get them. After this one, because he pitched so well after that first inning. And then if you go back to the Miami game, he dominated the first 2 innings before falling apart. So if you look at his last 9 innings or so, or 8.5 innings, he's pitched all but 2. Harper 3 for 3 today with a walk. Barefoot 1 for 4. Brian Goodwin 2 for 4. Really, the game kind of momentum was headed in the Nationals' favor. Goodwin with a single, Harper with a double, and then Bob Henley, for whatever reason, with nobody out, tried to send Goodwin home, and he was out by 15 feet. You just don't kill rallies that way. You can't make the first out at the plate, and you can't make the last out at the plate. And instead of getting on Feldman, because Murphy flew out to left, and the next batter, it would have been an easy sack fly, they end up killing the rally. Adam Lindaday 1 for 3, and Michael A., how about that? His 2-run shot in the fourth. Ended up being the Nats' scoring offense. So those were the 2 extra base hits. The Nats went 0 for 5 today in runners in scoring position. They left 7 on. The arrow was charged to Harper on a throwing error, but boy, that would have been that's a tough call. So Roark, the raw numbers, 6 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, all earned. He walked 2, ended up striking out 7, gave up the homer to Scooter Gennett, who now really has a place in our Nationals Hall of Pitas to go along with Cesar Hernandez, Justin Turner, Michael Conforto. I'm sure some other ones that you can think of. Matt Grace, 2 hits in his inning, but a strikeout. Joe Blanton, a hit in his inning in the third. And Ali Perez got the last 2. Roark, pitch-wise, I don't understand this. I mean, here's a guy that he threw 40 pitches in the first inning and somehow ended up with 116. I don't know why he had 98 pitches after 5. You're just kind of flirting with trouble there, if you ask me. But they get away with this stuff more often than not. And the bullpen should have been pretty well rested. You get 4 with the Cubs starting tomorrow, but if you're not going to use Jacob Turner, because he was up early in the game, then what is he doing on the team? Send him down to Syracuse where he can at least pitch. I don't get it. Gray, 17 pitches today for 12 strikes. Blanton, 15 today for 12 strikes. Easily his best performance. And Ali Perez threw, helps if you read the right column, 10 pitches for 6 strikes. 3 hours and 7 minutes to play it on Pops on the Park Day. All right, let's see what you have to say. Judo says we would have won if the scorer was asleep in the first inning. You know, you just kind of have to wonder if it's mental. I mean, velocity-wise, they didn't mention anything on Charlie, and Dave didn't mention anything. When he got it together, I mean, at first, when he started to put some good stuff together, it was all off-speed stuff, but by the fifth inning, he was mixing and matching his fastball for strikeouts. And like I said, if you go back to the first two innings of the Miami game, after he watched video, he was a dominant pitcher. I mean, this was the guy. Remember, last year, his ERA was lower than Max Scherzer's, and Scherzer won the Cy Young Award. So hopefully, Roark can take a look at the video from the third inning on to the sixth and see what he's doing right, because he did a lot right, and he pitched well when he was tired. I don't understand why he was out for 116 pitches, though, especially when you're down like that today, because he will pitch again on Friday on the opener of the road trip in St. Louis, as everyone else would go. But that's, I think also the big play, Judo and whoever else is watching, why can you justify why Hanley sent Goodwin there? Run themselves out of a rally. I'm not saying they come back and win after that, but I just don't get it. It was too close to what happened in Game 5 of the NLDS last year when Henley set Jason Worth home in the sixth inning and was thrown out by 20 feet. Someone pointed out on Twitter, yeah, but it was Danny Espinosa to follow. Still, you don't run yourselves out of rallies. That's your beat. There's been too many times this year where the Nationals tend to beat themselves. Not saying that they did that today, but you can't make mental mistakes, especially in today's game when teams are smart. Oh well, it's a loss, and they took 2 out of 3. They played really well against Cincinnati over the weekend, and their 19,000 men bullpen. And maybe Dave will now get over the fact that Joey Votto finally was retired by Matt Grace. All right, elsewhere in the division, Miami would beat the Cubs today 4-2. So the Cubs, again, another loss before they come to town. In Atlanta, Milwaukee shut them out today 7-0. Julio Teheran just got torched again. So good news for the Nats in that regard. The Mets had the bases loaded in the third inning in San Francisco with a 3-0 lead. They are on the verge of sweeping the San Francisco Giants. Yes, the Giants really are that bad. And Baltimore down Tampa Bay 8-5. Judo says, I think Henley just thought that the throw would be bad to home. You don't risk that with nobody out. I mean, it was a very good throw, but you just don't risk that with nobody out. You run yourselves out. I mean, the next batter, Murphy hits the perfect sac fly ball to left field. Goodwin would have scored easily on that. They might not have even thrown. And so they cost themselves a run on a coaching error. And I still don't understand. Sim Alex, who's sometimes a contributor here on these postgame shows, asked, how can you defend Roark throwing 116 pitches? And honestly, I can't. I mean, it was great. He threw the last 5 innings in 76 pitches, which is what you want him to do. But your bullpen is pretty much rested. They're going to trade for a piece, but I'm not real confident right now that Dusty Baker knows how to manage that pen. Everyone just kind of comes out for the same roles over and over. I mean, in different situations over and over again. There's no rhyme or reason for what they're doing. All right. Minor league board. Final, Buffalo beat Syracuse 7-5. Oh, really? Wander Suero blow the save. Syracuse held a 5-4 lead going in the ninth. Buffalo wins 7-5. Andrew Stevenson, though, with his first homer of the year. Suero takes a loss. He's now 1-1 since being called up with a 2.31 ERA. Harrisburg all over Portland today. 11-4 in the Eastern League. Homers by Listen, his 7th, and Ward is 6th. Hill with a win. He goes to 3-1 with a 5.54 ERA. Class A ball, advanced ball. Potomac down to 6, loses to Carolina today, 7-4. Reyes with the loss. He goes to 5-7 with a 4.97 ERA. It was Kaboomville for Hagerstown this afternoon. They beat Greensboro 8-3. Watson picks up his 5th win of the year. He's 5-2 with a 3.13 ERA. Perkins with his 6th. Johnson with 2. Dow has 16. Banks with his 3rd. And Noyce, who won the home run derby, or Noose, who won the home run derby in that league in the All-Star game, hit his 8th. Also, Auburn beat Williamsport today in New York Penn League action 9-5. DeRosier picks up his first professional win, 1-1 with a 3.27 ERA. Pancioni and Moda with their first home runs of the year. And the Dominican team didn't play. Judo says, may be wrong, but I believe the Dodgers and Cubs were the only teams last year with winning records against the Nats. Nats beat the Dodgers 2 or 3 weeks ago. The Cubs may be an important series. I think that the two most important series that the Nats have played this year was last weekend against the Mets, because if the Mets had done well, this would have been a divisional race. And I think the Dodgers series in Los Angeles was vitally important. The only one that lost was to Clayton Kershaw. And really that was more because of Jose Lobaton and his poor defense than anything Steven Strasburg did. I mean, the Cubs are probably, it'll be important as a psychological factor or maybe a curiosity factor because it is the defending world champions and you get a good chance to see where the Nats are as a team. But really, I think the more important series the National League Central Series coming up is Milwaukee. Only one playoff spot is coming out of the National League Central. The West will get both the wild cards and the division winner. And remember, they took 2 out of 3 from Arizona at home. They took 2 out of 3 from Los Angeles in Los Angeles. And they went into Colorado. This was with Adam Eaton and took 3 out of 4. So, yes, this is an important series because it's the Cubs and it's 4 games. But, I think they have played more important series this year and they have played well doing them. So we'll see. I think the pitching lineup matchups go well for there, except for Thursday, Joe Ross and John Lester. That should be interesting, but you're going to see both Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg in this series, along with the tired Jake Arrieta. And the Cubs aren't playing all that well right now. Famous last words. All right, what did we do today? Today I did a story on Steven Strasburg's struggling at home. Not sure what's going on with him, but his last 2 starts at home have been atrocious. And his ERA this month is close to 4.70. So I have a piece on him. Drew Douglas, who did such a wonderful job on this show yesterday, pretty much by himself, does profile Michael A. Taylor as our player of the week. Drew had the 5 Cubs to watch tomorrow, and Ricky Keeler has a minor league piece because I got to cut that interview later today. So that's what we got going on tomorrow. Give this video a like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We would appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at District on Deck. Give us a like on Facebook. And, of course, the website itself is districtondeck.com, where we post at least 2 stories every day about your Washington Nationals. For Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff on District on Deck, I'm Ron Jucken. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.